The beauty of Nworie village. In the quiet valley of Nworie village, where the cock crowed before dawn, lived Olubube. She was known across the village for one thing, her extraordinary beauty. Her skin glowed like evening palm oil, her smile could charm even the most stubborn hunter. But beauty, though sweet, became her throne, and she sat upon it with pride. Ebe grew up in a compound filled with hard-working people who taught humility. Her father, Papa Okezie, was a palm wine tapper with hands scarred from years of climbing trees, but Ebe believed she was born for greater things. "I cannot marry a village boy," she would say. "My beauty is not meant for ordinary men. Ebe, beauty is not a harvest that lasts forever. Choose a man with good character." But Ebe always waved it off, focused only on her perfect image. By the time Ebe turned 22, suitors crowded her home like bees around ripe fruit. Chidi, the kind-hearted farmer, came with baskets of fresh yam. "No," Ebe said, flicking her hair. "Your hands are too rough. I cannot marry a man who smells of farmland." Next came Ejike, the carpenter with a gentle smile. "I cannot marry a man who works with sawdust," she complained. "My clothes will always smell like wood." Then came Ikenna, the hard-working trader from the next village, who spoke respectfully. "You are not handsome enough. My children must be beautiful like me." The elders of Nworie began to worry, but Ebe smiled. "I am the pearl of Nworie." One hot afternoon, a rumor swept across the village like harmattan wind. "A man from the city has arrived. He is tall, drives a car, and is looking for a wife." Ebe's heart leapt. His name was Obinna, handsome, smooth-tongued, wearing shiny shoes and smelling of expensive perfume. "You are more beautiful than I imagined," he said with a smile full of confidence. Ebe felt her knees grow weak. This was the type of suitor she deserved. "Papa, this is my destiny. I cannot remain in this village forever. Obinna will take me to the city." Against her parents' quiet worries, Ebe married him and departed Nworie. When they arrived in the city of Nworie, Ebe felt like she had entered a new world. At first, marriage felt sweet. Obinna bought her pretty clothes and took her to fancy restaurants. She walked proudly, feeling superior to every girl in her village. But soon, the sweetness began to fade. Ebe noticed Obinna often returned home late. When she asked questions, he barked, "Stop acting like a village girl. This is city life." He began hiding his phone. He stopped buying her gifts. And then the worst truth came. Obinna had 3 other women. "You think you are the only beautiful woman in the city? Look around. Many women shine brighter than you." His cruelty culminated when he threw her out, shouting that her village beauty was worthless now. Broken and alone, Ebe started the long, painful walk back to Nworie. When she finally returned to Nworie, the whispers followed her like shadows. Humbled by the pain, Ebe knelt before her parents, seeking forgiveness through silent service. She began to work alongside her mother at the market, learning to value sweat over sheen. Years passed. The vain girl was gone, replaced by a woman of quiet strength and earned respect. Days grew into months, and Ebe's life became a river of pain, alone in the apartment. Obinna was partying, gambling, and spending nights with other women. Sometimes he shouted, sometimes he insulted her. "You have nothing except your face," he sneered one evening, "and beauty does not cook food." One night, after a terrible argument, he threw her clothes out and chased her from the house. She cried as she walked barefoot under the cold moonlight. She had left good suitors in her village. She had chosen beauty over character, and now she was paying the price. One market day, a mature, thoughtful man named Odogwu stopped at her stall. He did not speak of her skin, but of her diligence and the strength in her work-worn hands. "Ebe," he said, "beauty fades like the dry season grass, but a good heart sustains a home." And in Nworie, the former beauty finally found love that valued the soul over the surface. When Ebe returned to Nworie village, she carried nothing but a bag of clothes and a broken heart. Villagers whispered, "Is that not Olubube, the girl who rejected all suitors?" Her mother hugged her tightly, crying. Her father sighed deeply. But neither rejected her. "You are still our daughter," Papa Okezie said quietly. "Next time, Choose with your mind, not your mirror. Ebe wept in her mother's arms, finally letting go of her prideful facade. Life in the village humbled her. She began helping her mother at the market, something she once considered beneath her. She spoke respectfully, greeted elders, smiled kindly. But every night, when she lay on her mat, memories haunted her. Memories of Chidi the farmer, responsible and hardworking. Eduque the carpenter, gentle and respectful. She had not just rejected suitors, she had rejected her own happiness. With time, Ebe healed. She learned new skills: sewing, soap making, and cooking for ceremonies. Her beauty remained, but pride no longer lived inside her. One day, old Mama Nwamaka smiled at her. "Ebe," she said, "you are more beautiful now because humility suits you better than pride." Ebe smiled gently. This time, she did not boast. She simply said, "Thank you, Mama." A few years later, Ebe carried herself with quiet grace through the village. The villagers no longer whispered with judgment, but with respect for her hard work. A widower from a nearby village, Odogwu, began observing her from afar. Odogwu was not concerned with fleeting beauty. He saw the strength forged in adversity. He admired the woman who had learned the hard way that true worth endures beyond appearance. He came not for the pearl, but for the steadfast hand that held it. Papa Okezi and Mama Okezi received the respected elder with caution and honor. Odogwu spoke not of riches or youth, but of shared responsibilities and steady companionship. Olubube watched from a distance, her heart stirred by his quiet sincerity. The conversation lasted long into the night, built on trust, not vanity. The next morning, Ebe spoke with her parents, her voice steady. "I accept him," she confirmed. "He sees the woman I have become." At Mama Okezie wept again, but these were tears of profound joy and relief. The pearl of Nworie had finally chosen substance over shine. The city fades away, but the foundation built on character remains strong forever. True beauty is the character you build when no one is looking. Ebe finally confronted Obina about his lies and infidelity. She refused the farmer, fearing his honest, rough hands would touch her perfect skin.